All right, I'll call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. If you can join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, then I'll move on to oath of office of our new planning commissioners. I'll turn this one over to Deputy City Clerk Christina Aguilar.
Okay, if I could please have Dory Perez and Ruldeep Jammu join me up at the podium. Okay, if I can please have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California
Constitution of the State of California,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll do a roll call.
Please note that our new Commissioner Ishwar Gill is excused this evening, so we have Commissioner Condit,
Here.
Commissioner Jammu,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
and Commissioner Perez.
All right, next item is election of chairperson and vice chairperson. I'll open this up to the commission.
Hey, sorry about that. I'd like to nominate RJ for vice chair.
So that I guess I'll take it.
Chairperson? Anybody want to?
David, I'd like to nominate David.
Chairperson, you are the senior member, so
Sure.
you want to do chairperson?
No, I'm gonna pass on it.
Okay.
Nominate you. Nominate Gary.
RJ, okay, I'll accept it. So we have Chairperson Condit and Vice Chair Jammu. Okay. Got a first and a second. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Jammu,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Condit.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Is there anyone on the commission that would like to declare a conflict of interest? Seeing none, we'll move on to citizens communication. While this planning commission welcomes and encourages participation in the planning commission meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under jurisdiction of the planning commission are not on the posted agenda, may not be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the planning commission from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be emergency by the planning commission. Citizens are entitled to address the planning commission on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a citizens communication? Seeing none, is there any on Zoom?
I see no hands raised at this time.
Any emails or anything received?
We have not received any emails.
All right, we'll close citizens' communication. Consent calendar. Is there anyone on the commission who would like a consent item pulled for further discussion?
If I may, Chair, for item number 2, approval of the minutes at our December 16th meeting, only 2 of the remaining commissioners attended that meeting, so we do not have enough commissioners who can vote to approve those items. So I am requesting that our new commissioners review the minutes, review the YouTube video of that, and once they've reviewed it, they will then be able to vote on those minutes. So we will remove item number 2 from the consent calendar to be considered at our next meeting.
I'm going to pull item 3. All right, do I have a motion on the rest of the items?
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a first, got a second. Make it a roll call.
Certainly. Commissioner Jammu,
We got a question.
Oh, public. Thank you, Mr. Warren. Item 4. Okay, so we have, let's rescind that motion. So we are approving only item 1 right now. So Mr. Jamu, if you can make that motion.
Motion to approve item 1.
I'll second that. Roll call.
Commissioner Jammu,
Aye.
Commissioner Condit,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez. Motion passes 4-0.
All right, item number 3. Leah, can I get some background on this item? This was approved in 2016 according to the agenda. It's the 5th extension. Do you have any background as far as the reason for multiple extensions?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. We also have the applicant available if they would like to add, but it is my understanding that the project just hasn't penciled out for the applicant, given, COVID, just certain, his personal finances, things, the project just hasn't been ready to move forward for him personally. It's a good project. It's an infill site. Rather than have to re-entitle the site, the city is willing to consider extending the project. Just so, we need housing. It's a housing project. It's a higher density housing project that we'd like to see. So we are open to the extension. And if you have further questions, the applicant I know is present.
Would the applicant like to respond to any of that or?
I'm the applicant for Cherry Hollow, and no, it has been approved for quite a few years, since they said 2016. Several years after it was approved, it kind of went on a shelf. And then when I started to get ready to start pursuing with it, then COVID hit and everything slowed down. The last couple of years, I have brought several of the plans. And in fact, what I brought here today is some of the achievements that we've done for the Cherry Hollow project. The number 1, the site plan layout, has been completely, designed and gone through. The improvement plans for the development have been signed off by the city engineer. So all the wet utilities have been designed on the project. The structural plans have been completely drawn. There's a north block wall that needed to have some engineering. That's all been completed. The dry utilities, which is the electric and the phone and different things, that's all been completed at this time. Landscape plans completed. The building structural calcs are completed. The truss calcs, the electrical calcs, the solar calcs, and a substantial amount of money has been paid to TID for all the metering for the project. So it has been moving forward, and this is just a list, and this is just probably a partial list. I probably forgot some of the lot line adjustments and different things that I had to do to move forward. So do you have any other questions of me?
Do you feel confident this will be your last extension before this project?
I have financial plans based on Copper Trails annexation. And so, I just, I hope it is, but I had a meeting with the staff and, we may have to ask for another one. But it is definitely, I'm heavily invested financially in this project, from acquiring the property and just going from zero to this part right here.
Okay, I appreciate your time, and I think it's a great infill project, and I'll be supporting the extension.
Thank you.
I'll take this out to the public. Anybody have any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
I motion to approve the extension. I think it's a good project. Like staff said, we need additional housing.
I'll second that.
Second.
I get a roll call?
Certainly. Commissioner Jammu?
Aye.
Chairperson Condit?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
And Commissioner Perez. Motion passes 4-0.
Item number 4. Take this out to the public. Mr. Warren?
Good evening, Commissioners. John Warren, the city of Sirius is my home. This project, which basically is across the street from Bank of America on Mitchell Road, should never have been approved to begin with. And the zoning was changed to allow the building of apartments with a different zoning in the front for commercial buildings, hair salons and things like that. Originally, they were supposed to build those buildings in the front first, if I remember correctly. And then when they could not find any tenants to occupy those, they shifted gears and went for building the apartment complexes in the back. Years ago, the city of Sirius changed the zoning of Mitchell Road for commercial, being one of the last thoroughfares coming into our city with commercial properties. They did not want housing to be built in those areas. And for some reason, the developer was able to convince parties to change the zoning to what it is now. It's a mixed zoning. I'm going to make a statement here, which I think is what's going to happen. You're never going to see those buildings out in front built, that strip mall out in front. What's going to happen is the apartments are going to get built in the back. It's going to become a disaster for people driving in and out of that complex. All the people that go to work every day have to leave there and go on the Mitchell Road, and they have to come home that way, and they have to go grocery shopping that way. And the more unprotected left-hand turns that a person makes in their life is a recipe for disaster when you're driving a car. Then you have to throw in the big brown trucks that make deliveries there every day. And then Prime that makes deliveries there every day. And then Dash that makes deliveries there every day. And then the police cars that come for all the domestic fights that are going to be there every day. So you put this big mix in there without the proper traffic control out on Mitchell Road, which we don't really need another intersection with a traffic signal, but that is what it's going to take to protect the folks from moving in and out of there. My suggestion is you have an opportunity now to kill this project. Don't let it go forward. Don't grant the extension. Change it back to commercial property zoning, which was intended by the city to begin with, so that commercial businesses can come and develop that property, which was the intent to begin with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Anybody else for public comment? All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for further discussion.
Would you like staff to answer some of those questions?
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
So I did, the Mitchell Road corridor does have specific vision in mind. We want to see commercial activity, but we also have to understand that residences drive being able to fill commercial space. So it was a compromise when this project was approved. The front would be commercial, the back would be residential. At this point, land use designation changes and zonings don't expire. So you'll notice that the extension is just for the map. So that now land is designated for housing. It doesn't get to go back or it doesn't expire for housing. So you have a project now that conforms to the land use designation, which will now be residential. This not approving the time extension won't remove that component. It is now designated for residential. The reason that the applicant was delayed is because the city, if you watch that hearing back, the applicant committed to doing a traffic study, which should have been done prior to approval, but they did do it. And there are mitigations to mitigate the traffic concerns that were expressed at that meeting. Specifically, there will be a median. They're changing turn pockets, so it's not an unprotected left turn. There will be a specific turn into the school. It is a school, so you can imagine in and out traffic. So a lot of that traffic concern, the applicant understood that there was concern at the original approval. We required that they do the traffic study, which is why they were delayed. It takes some time to hire the engineer, complete the studies, run the counts. They're in the middle of finishing their improvement plans, which will show all of those required improvements in order to make the situation safer. And the applicant has applied for both his commercial buildings and residential buildings. So he just couldn't go through the building process until that traffic study was complete, because those traffic improvements have to be reflected on those plans. So he's done, the applicant has done what he committed to do at the hearing in order to facilitate safe movements and driving. And we are going to see both commercial and residential on this site. We have to keep in mind our current market. We have a lot of vacant commercial sites. We're trying to fill them. This is a large parcel. Given the current climate with the need for housing and how housing spurs commercial uses, it's a good balance. You need people to buy things, and then people need places to buy things at. So as we get more people, as we house more people, our commercial projects become more viable. So this was a good, honestly, a good use for a very deep site that may, commercial use in the back may not have great street frontage. It may not be that successful. So we've taken a deep lot, found a good use for the back, which would be housing, and put that commercial right up on that corridor so that it can still fulfill what we hope to achieve with that Mitchell Road corridor specific.
And changing the order, the zoning, that is a city council action, correct?
Correct. And it also doesn't expire. So it's done.
Okay.
The applicant, the property owner would have to come back and request that his zone be changed back to commercial. It's only the map that currently expires.
So in the new design, there's gonna be no left turn exiting it?
It'll be a limited, there'll be a median. You'll be able to turn left into the school, but you won't be able to turn left across Mitchell out of the project site.
And if I understood you correctly, the traffic study, this was extended prior and it was for the traffic study, is that correct?
The traffic study was done post-approval. It should have been done pre-approval, but it's been done and reviewed by the city engineer. I'm sorry, was that your question? Or was
Well, do we know the exact reason for this extension?
Oh, the extension was the traffic study. We held them up. And so of that 2 year, the 2 year time period, yeah, they basically ran out of time because we've been negotiating on what improvements, how with the engineer, and it took the time to get them through the traffic study, which held them up.
If we did, is 2 year time extension, is that standard in your experience?
1 or 2. It used to be 1. In recent times, the city started approving 2 year time extensions. So it's in your purview. You could suggest a 1 year extension. But
How many times has this project been extended?
this is the first extension.
First extension? Okay.
Yes, it's the first time extension.
Any other questions from commission? All right, I'll be looking for a motion to approve or A motion?
Second.
Okay. Can we get a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Perez? Commissioner Jammu?
Approve.
Commissioner Johnson? And Chairperson Condit?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, we'll move to public hearing.
Chair, I wanted to let you know that prior to the meeting, the applicant did request that this item be pulled from public hearing, and he did not request a date certain. So that means that should they wish to come back, we will have to renotice the item.
All right. We'll move on to new business, seeing none, public meetings, none, unfinished business, none. Matters initiated by the planning commission and staff, none. Reports, anybody on the commission have a report?
Just want to welcome the new planning commissioners. Thank you for stepping up and look forward to working with you guys.
Welcome aboard, Leah. Anything?
I do have some good news. Our housing element received its pre-approval letter, if you will, from HCD, which means we can now bring the housing element forward to planning commission and city council. It is a very long document. So I request that you all review it now. You will be hearing the item on the March 17th planning commission meeting. And we won't be printing the entire element, so it is available online. If you go to our planning division website, the housing element, the draft is there, the letter is there, and all the iterations are there for you to review. Our housing element is a chapter of the general plan, and the housing element is basically improved in cycles. So this is the 6th cycle, and so the housing element is supposed to run from 2023 to 2030, 2033 to 2023 to 2030, sorry. So we're obviously behind. It's taken a long time for us to get through. So it's a milestone, and excited to bring it forward to you. So please, try to review it between now and that March 17th meeting. When Anne prepares the binder, she won't be putting the entire 400-page document in there. It'll just be probably the staff report and then referring you to the link on our website. Thank you.
All right. I will adjourn this meeting to the next scheduled planning commission. Thank you.